Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? This is the Collegiate Star League, and we still have some Collegiate CSGO for you tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed that small little turnaround from the Texas A&M Houston game. We have another one for you. It is LSU versus Alabama. And no, this is not a football game if you're just tuning in, but you know, for two schools that are familiar with being elites, winning titles, and being dominant, the only thing they really haven't had a grasp of yet is esports. But as we're starting to see, programs are beginning to build, and who knows, maybe in the future, there's an opportunity for it. But joining me tonight again is going to be Mr. Zach McGinnis, aka Crackshot. How are you? Don't forget about the Discord on mute either, like you told me to remind you.
Actually, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming back. If you're tuning in once again, and to all our newcomers for this match, yes, as you said, these guys are titans in the football category, I believe. I don't watch too much college football, but if you do, and you know, I think I've seen LSU has been good before. Or if they're still good, I don't really know. They're the ones who got the yellow helmets that say LSU on the side.
I mean, at this point, I mean, in regards to CS, it's tough to say, you know, exactly what these teams are going to be bringing to the table. They're both coming into the night at 0-1, so with only one game, there isn't really much that we could tell. This was supposed to be a week 2 game, but they specifically, they were actually supposed to be originally broadcasted earlier in the year, but because of scheduling conflicts, they weren't able to do it. But they demanded to be on stream, and so they delayed their match from week 2 even further along up until this week, just so they could be on stream. And so this is kind of a really classic rivalry that we see from two type of SEC schools. And even though we don't have those typical strict conferences as we see like the NCAA has, but we do see a lot of these rivalries, and these teams have that same hatred and desire to beat each other as well.
Oh yeah, no, it's the school-to-school rivalries definitely carry over into esports. I've seen it firsthand for sure.
Now, looking at LSU, they took an L 0-16 to Georgia in their first week. Georgia has been a team that's been around playing CS for quite a while, so they're dealing with a little bit more experience and maybe as well a little bit of a tougher match to take on, at least in the initial part. Hold on just a sec. Yes, go ahead. Go on ahead. They were just double checking, making sure they could start. How thoughtful of our teams. Look at them carrying. I love it.
Well, I mean, if they waited 2 weeks for this, they really don't want to screw this up, right? They want to make sure that they're on stream and that our beautiful voices are casting it for them. So, good luck to both of the teams. Now, I know you're all going to come back and watch it. So, yeah, good luck to both of you guys.
Now, on the stream. I'm got dyslexia, trying to do all these different things. Alabama took an L to Central Florida in week 1, 15-16. Central Florida, another school that is has well been playing a bit of CS as well in their time, and one of the biggest public universities as well in North America. And so, but enough about little fun facts and tidbits. I think it's game time.
Florida's, now it's knife round, but yeah, shout outs to Central Florida. They actually, a couple of the guys on that team are my friends, so they've been hitting me up trying to get me to get them on stream. So I told them I'd do everything I can, but I told them it's not a caster's job to make the schedule, it's a caster's job to cast the game. As we see the knife round coming into action here in LSU, going to take this one. So classically, you'd see a team probably take the CT side, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. I mean, this map is pretty even, if not T-sided, but I think if you win the knife round, you just take CT side so you can kind of get a feel for the map, the pacing, and get a little bit oriented. Taking T side in the second half might be a little easier to do at that point.
No, I agree with you. We've seen a lot of games on Cash so far this year, and I mean it's been kind of I want to say not even a toss-up. A lot of teams have been very patient with their strategy and their play style. A lot of mid control, a lot of defaults, and so they should be in a decent position at least to run stuff, I want to say. So we haven't seen too many rush plays. We haven't seen too many, you know, huge commitments unless it's on eco rounds, and I think we're going to probably see that again today. Obviously, for those that are wondering, this is as well a live match, so good luck trying to find spoilers. You're not going to be able to find any today, as these two teams have definitely delayed as best they can. It's actually pretty late over on the East Coast. It's going to be it's already 10 o'clock there, so let's hope to see what they're going to be able to come up with here. for this match, but it looks like most people are just readying up right now as we just get a couple confirms from the players. Last two almost ready to go. But yeah, kind of going back to that, we've seen a lot of this game rely on mid control, a lot of that boost play on T side, and as well, just solid defensive sides on the A and mid play where the rotates come in. We haven't seen much of an influence in regards to B or going through through the vents in that type of an area. I don't know if that's just teams being cautious, or just is that not really much of a favorable site that they want to go on. What do you think?
I don't know. Just this map is going to be it's all about finding openings, and if you're going to play a default, you don't take controls of all parts of the map, and then the B side is included. If you're going to take the mid control, then you have the way like an easy way to split B. And now a lot of people are learning how to do these easy smokes and mollies from the sunroom there, so B side becomes even more viable. And then the rush, like I said in the last stream, never anything wrong with a good old B rush, and it doesn't matter what map it is.
Oh, look at this though! Alabama sneaking their way on through the middle side off of the
Black is caught out.
Was not ready for it, but look at the turnaround. Clack and Envy doing a good job of holding them off, getting a couple of shots off. Master Twist trades out Chursa. Does end up getting one of the players that came through the door, and now it's down to a 1-on-2 for Alabama. Looked really good for them initially as they kind of caught the whole entire LSU team off guard, but LSU, great turnaround, great shooting, able to deny a lot of it. Now let's see if Chursa can maybe hold it down. Does manage to get one, down to 45 HP, one-on-one versus Courtly. 14 bullets in a dream. Can he do it right here? Courtly walking by. He spots him first. Does not manage to kill him just yet. Has to make a move, though, as the bomb timer goes down. And Courtly with a beautiful headshot on that P250 pickup. I love that skin, by the way. That Moretto's, I think. Is that what it is?
Muertos.
Muertos. I have it. Like, I don't have many CSGO skins. I never really got into it. But the two pistol skins that I really like is that Muertos and the 5.7 banana. Like, the
monkey gun, yeah.
The monkey gun. I really like both of those skins. I think they're awesome.
At least those ones aren't too expensive, right? Like, there's no reason to have like a $565 knife, right?
Oh, yeah. Dude,
there's definitely no reason to have that.
Dude, DreamHack, man, I swear to God, like, not only were people just like buying actual like replica skinned guns and they were worth less, or sorry, skinned knives, and they were worth less than actual in-game skins.
Oh yeah, no, of course, yeah, no. Comic-Con came to my city this summer, and actually I bought a Karambit Doppler Phase 2, and it was $30. It's like legit. It's like legit too. Like, it's actually sharp and stuff, and it's got a case, and it's really got really nice painting on it. And I'm like, this would be like $500, $600 if I just shoved it through my computer screen.
Exactly. God, that makes me sad. I always wonder, I'm like, if I could ever actually get like one of those like skins just by chance on a case opening, like way back in the day, I think I would have sold it probably right away. I'm just like, yep, there's like 5 or 6 games on Steam that I can buy now in the future if I ever needed to. Like, that's the greatest reinvestment ever. But as we look and see here, a little bit of a meat grinder situation with the crossfire setup, but look at Alabama actually managing to make their way through a little bit, down to 2 players. Can they at least just get the bomb play? They're trying to get it down. Great job, gets it. Not able to turn around or get anybody else. Courtly clears everybody out of sight. We'll get the defuse, but that bomb play was probably big for them. Now they have
that's a round win in it. Yeah, a round win in itself. If you're running the full eco there, you're going to be able to do a little bit more here in your first spy round. You'll be able to get a player with an op, and that could be, we'll see if Chirpy's going to buy that for somebody. I don't know, T-set op pretty effective in my opinion on this map. Opening up sites, there's a lot of angles you can use. It's a very linear map when it comes to taking bomb sites, so it works out really well for oppers in a certain sense. We'll see if Mr. Twist, it looks like he's the opper for the Crimson Tide here. We'll see if he's able to make that puppy sing.
Indeed. If you guys haven't had a chance as well, quickly go over to twitter.com/collegianecsgo or at @CStarleague. Tweet us, and as well tweet out the link. Share it to all your friends. Let them know that LSU and Bama is not just a football game. It has moved on to the virtual playfield of CSGO, and the rivalry begins here in a sense tonight. Now, a bit of a setup here. Twist is under while he's got LSU with the reverse boost. This is crazy. They're all just so close to each other, but nobody's committing to anything just yet. Molly doesn't get anybody through the door right there, and now all Alabama's doing is just waiting to gather some more information, or until I guess the timer forces them to come out. I mean, that's the only really thing there. Now they're smoked off, so they're kind of delayed a little bit longer for the time being. Still a pretty heavy B defense setup. I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't been able to gather more information and at least rotate one more person over. Come over Innovate not able to hold it down. Meanwhile, on site, there's still Chursa, but his backside is going to be exposed. He goes down, and now it is all up to the remaining 3 rotators. Already down to 15 as D-Truxy. Meanwhile, over at Truck, we got Courtly, and inside main, Clyde goes down. This is kind of falling apart a little bit, but at least a couple trades here and there coming up for LSU. God, that bomb plant really helped Alabama, didn't it? Getting those rifles out.
Yeah, I mean they have better firepower. They had all this utility. You see the utility burning off and just keeping LSU at bay. It's making it at least kind of difficult for them to get into this site to retake. And I think Courtly's just going to cut his losses to keep this from us in his armor for another day here. The Crimson Tide will get on the board here. I mean, I kind of expecting them to win, and Corley is going to kind of find this one. I mean, if I'm predicting this, I'm expecting the Crimson Tide to win this one. I think that they have a little bit better of a team overall, just kind of looking at the players before this game, but it's definitely not out of range for LSU. I mean, both teams haven't won a game yet, so both are going to be looking to kind of get out of the hole here, and we'll see if the Crimson Tide are going to be able to make my prediction come true.
Indeed, you are correct. Now, 2-1 lead, obviously early in the game. Kind of semi-biased right now for the side of LSU. They do have at least one op on them with Clag, so that might give some firepower if he ends up playing over towards midside. But looks like he is going to be taking that off elsewhere for the time being. And to be almost gets a shot off, though.
If you'd like them up there, yeah, he's going to be down 20 HP. That's mediated castle. Maybe not expecting. I don't think he would have been expecting that op buy there. I don't think that they're expecting the economy of LSU to be as good as it is right now. But
not only the op buy, but I mean, putting that op on B side as well. Usually, you see, I would say maybe like 7 out of 10 times you'll see it playing mid, and more so like maybe even a little bit on A side. Not your typical, I want to say, op placement to put on the B side, at least for CSL games. That's usually
and I mean that's a little more common. That angle is really, really common in like pug plays and stuff. But I mean, you do see some pro teams play the op on B side. A lot of times they'll play their rifles in mid, but it looks like there's going to be an A side execute here. The volley's not going to be able to take out M8, but great job's going to be able to finish him off before Chursa's going to find 2, and he burns alive there. As Manly's going to find 2 here, combined with that Molly kill before Clack's not going to be able to rotate in quick enough from the B side with an op. I mean, this is going to be kind of a hopeless retake for him. We'll see what they're able to do here. I mean, a player is actually in sight.
Good Molly. Great Molly. Or sorry, not Molly. Great HE right there. Knocks off almost all the HP of Chirpy. 3v2 is still tough. They're running out of time. They got to make some moves. Truxy turns his back, unfortunately, to Manly way too late, and now it is only one person on site. They do spot him.
Oh,
but it is a one-on-one. It is a
what a no-scope.
Manly, though, playing man's game right now. Holds it down. That's 2 rounds back-to-back for the Crimson Tide. Nice play, and now we are all tied up, forcing LSU to be on eco. Now, when you play cash, talk to me again, kind of how I asked you on train. On the T side, how do you come into it? How would you like to play it? Or if you got to be the IGL, where would you take your team to victory?
I think the B-side hits work out a little bit better depending if you're organized or not. I mean, if you're an organized team and you have a lot of money, A-site works out well, but if you don't have a lot of money, I'd say you go to B-site. That's kind of just a little bit of a loose kind of prerogative to follow. You see the boost here happening. Tapping away is a great job from A main, trying to take out an evade, but Clock going to be left a little worse for wear here. It is an A stack, so one player waiting on B. You're kind of letting great job getting here and feel this out. This is a really good thing to do with the SMGs. And a lot of teams are really good at doing that. You see the default being held in mid right now. I think they've kind of sniffed out this A stack, knowing that he fired a couple bullets, didn't get any kind of replies on the peaks, knowing that players might be hiding. They're going to make their way into the B side. This is a really, really good read from Alabama.
Yeah, and poor Courtly's got to make that tough decision. He's trying to watch out for Z, but as well, he's got the whole entire the whole entire Alabama team coming up into B side as well. With the Molly, that should obviously give away that they're all right there. More smokes and nades coming on in. It does actually get a little bit of a tap right there, but now the whole entire site is compromised. Here comes LSU rotating on in, but already Alabama's completely on the site. Wouldn't encourage them to go through the smoke. At this point, they could probably just play on the site. I doubt it. Yep. Having player Innovate goes down with a nade. Not even shots
Kobe.
right there. Kobe with a capital K. And now still all 5 of Alabama remain right now. And obviously just because they're on eco and pistols, they're going to have to try to take the fight the best way that they can here. But I mean, it's tough. It's tough. They got the site covered so well, and just pistols at this point. We got vent. We got all these other areas at this point. There might be what, just looking for exit frags, and not working out too well either. Great job. Doesn't get a TK though, so I guess that's a miniature win for LSU if they could find at least a small silver lining. CZ though doing some work for Chursa. See if he's going to be able to get one more from Alabama right here, and that is not going to be the case. Close but no cigar. Mr. Twist finishes off the Tigers, and 3 rounds for Alabama.
Yeah, this is kind of what we expected here after the economy of LSU got broken. So now it looks like they're going to kind of buy into this. They still have money, which I think the Crimson Tide here are going to be like, how do you still have money? They're just barely forcing into its rifles and just barely having enough for them. So, I mean, that op was unexpected. Now they have 5 rifles. I didn't even realize that the math could be like that, but I guess they're going to go for it. I think you need a little bit more utility to win on this map with the CT side, but I guess they're going to just try to go for the rifles. So you see how Clack, Courtley, and I believe the CTD Truxy here, I mean, are like, they don't really have anything besides their rifle. And I mean, when you're just, that's all you can scrap together, and your team doesn't have any utility to delay a slow push, you're going to get caught. And I mean, this round could turn into that as we see the AX keep coming in here. Navate going to take out a great job. Manly going to find one as well, but before Chursa is going to chime in, and Clack finds one before he's going to get his head taken off by Mediating Castle.
Chursa, that reaction was so slow.
Yeah, that was weird. He was like, it's almost like he just kind of watched him. He was like, are you really going to go over top of this? And I mean, his teams end up cleaning up, but yeah, you're right. I was a little slow, a little weird.
Yeah, if you're a bird, I'm a bird. I don't know if you thought it was maybe one of his teammates trying to climb over or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was blinded up just before that, so he might have been a little disoriented, but I can't see it being like that. LSU gonna kind of win that bye there, and I mean, right as I'm kind of giving them I guess I'm giving them crap for not saving for utility and not playing, you know, quote unquote proper CS. But I mean, whatever works for your team works for your team. So you see Courtley tapping through the smoke here. It's going to be a slow play towards being a kind of forced buy on the side of the Crimson Tide. We'll see what they're able to do here.
Well, like you were talking about some of the setups from the Sunroom. We'll see the Molly over Mediated Castle. They're trading over nades all over the place, and that does end up pushing Courtley into the back of the checker and D-Trucks on the side. But he's a little bit open though, hitting his shots. And now look at this great crossfire set up right now from the team. And now only one more is left, and D-Truxy, wow, that was one of the best B-side defenses I think I've seen in a while. After getting kind of moved out of the way and kind of Molly's forcing them to jump around. That was great.
Yeah, definitely like that. Maybe he's watched some demos of the way pro players play, because I got a lot of sense of that watching him play that round. The way he was moving around and inside the B side, not being taken out by any of the mollies or the nades that are being thrown in there. But it looks like it's going to be just a full classic Glock rush B. Suka Billiat. We'll see what happens here.
They do get slowed down though by the molly, and unfortunately that will continue to slow them down. A couple flashes will stall them out as well, and that rush got completely shut down without a single bullet being even fired. And now with some rotates obviously coming over to help out, they are trying to anticipate the B side. The smoke off in mid will actually cover up some of the movements and maybe some of the sound and walking that they're going to be maybe looking to go over to A side. They still have Trippy over here on B, and it looks like they're coming right back over to B, hoping that the team took the bait and might have counter-rotated or over-anticipated a return rush over to A. Still, yeah. It will be tough, though. It will be tough.
Absolutely. And Courtley going to tap away, take out. Great job here. Courtley finds one more and another. D-Trucks joins in, finds a pair, and that is another round for LSU here on their CT side. Absolutely good defense there. And given the B side, we're seeing textbook play from them. I think what you saw there was them rotating out through mid. I mean, yeah, the first objective there is to kind of sell that they've rotated out of B, and if basically they made all that noise in B main, so they're expecting an LSU player to kind of try to push B main and look for them after they didn't make any noise. But at the same time, they're pushing their way back towards A as a group because all they have is Glocks. They're not going to be able to take out players easily, so they need to have numbers in the situation that they find somebody rotating from A on maybe a call that they were all in B main.
Indeed. Now, you got put the gorgeous molly right there on the top of the boost. Will push him off for the time being before he could go back up again and maybe take a peek. Now, seeing LSU take 2 great defensive rounds right there reminds me of whenever I watch football with LSU and Alabama play, and this is exactly what happens when they actually play football. Is you see these great athletes and these awesome defensive battles. It's not as big as, some of these, shootouts where you see 55, 60-point games on occasion. They actually usually keep it in the low 10s or even like low 20s sometimes if it happens to be the case. And so it's kind of cool to see sort of a similar aspect right now being transitioned over to the CSGO side. Obviously, there's a zero correlation to any of this, but I think it's just cool because, it's kind of one of their big things is you see great defensive presence on both teams.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah.
Finley coming in there and taking out D-Truxy into the B site here. That's going to give his team a chance in this round despite them being at odds, and now even more at odds here as it becomes a 4-on-2. Clack finds one here, and Chursa a little bit late getting into the site, but still advantage LSU at the start of the round here. Chirpy's going to have to find one here for his team as he's in the position to do so. Mr. Twist is going to go down early, and Chirpy's going to find one before Clack's going to take him down. And with enough time, for sure, he will defuse, and that's going to be 6 rounds now for LSU.
Indeed it is. Shout out to our boy Mahone showing up 10 minutes late. Later than we needed him. I see him in chat. How's it going? Hopefully you guys are enjoying as well. Again, a reminder, if you guys haven't had a chance, be sure to give the stream link out to your friends, to your social groups, your esports groups. If you haven't yet as well, LSU or any Bama members, if you want to join our Discord, type an exclamation Discord in chat and you guys can join the 600 plus that we have right now currently in the CSL Discord and gaming community, slowly building up a great communication network. I think it's also as well what we've seen is just this huge effort by teams of actually practicing and scrimming this year, and the level of improvement of CSGO teams just in general for the CSL has been astounding. At least last year I don't think I saw even half as much as teams are playing as they are this year on off time and off hours. Everybody's looking for scrims, for practices, prepping maps, given that extra time, and it's really cool to see that they're treating it almost like they're part of a pro or semi-pro team, and to an extent, putting out as much effort. Good lord, oh my god, look at all the volleys on A.
It's a barn burner out there. Looks like somebody on the Crimson Tide got a hold of my mixtape, but going to be shut down right away as LSU going to take them down.
Man, somebody rip your fence off right now, and just start putting it up in the air, man. Defense, a beautiful play from LSU once again. Even though the whole plays got mollied down, the smoke held them off for just a little bit longer than I would have liked, and that was just enough time to stall off and get everybody on LSU in position. And that's 7 rounds for them. I feel like I've kind of
really well.
I feel like I've zoned out a little bit, looking at haven't looked at the score, and all of a sudden we see LSU 7-3 up, and they're hot. They're hot as hell.
Absolutely, and they're doing this default is working really well, but they're not doing kind of what I said on train kind of works on this map too. I mean, you gotta your default can be a little more static on this map, but it's going to require adaptation throughout the game, and I think they're doing a really good job at making sure that they're adapting to what the Crimson Tide are throwing at them. They're forcing the Crimson Tide to play slow, and I don't think that that's kind of what they're used to. The way that I saw some of these players play before, it just doesn't seem like that's what they're used to. They kind of want to play fast, and they're not being allowed to do that. So being forced to play at LSU's pace is just earning them that. They see Clack just chiming in right away before Chirpy trades one out. And Clack's going to take out a second as the ace to execute is now coming in.
Even through the molly, Chursa getting some more damage. Clack on the other side helping, and the rest of the team getting some of the damage done with Clack over by Forklift. Now, I wanted to, obviously on the B side, we saw a beautiful defense with Courtly and D-Truxy, but we got to give props as well to Chursa and Innovate over on A side. They do a really nice job where Innovate usually sits kind of a little bit more in the middle of site or kind of by quad area, and then Chursa does a great job of holding down the Forklift area as well, looking at the door on A side. And obviously, we don't want to forget about Clack and his ability to rotate and help the team, but I mean, I think the A and the B sides have been held really well, and they position and cover well. They molly, they smoke off, they delay. They're doing everything really nicely, and I don't know. We haven't seen much play from Alabama after like the first round trying to take over mid. Should they consider maybe just trying to work some mid play? This way, at least it gives them some options to rotate into other, kind of either side or whichever way they want to go. We haven't just seen a lot of it. They've been pretty much setting up a lot of A defaults or kind of some low B kind of type of play, but usually it's on. They need
to set a goal for themselves in a round. Let's take mid and then we'll work from there. Their default right now is just kind of go to a certain spot and kind of hold off and then just go into a site after. So they're not really like giving LSU any trouble or making them guess at all. They're just kind of, once it's time to go to a site, it's time to go into the site, and then LSU just has to hold for rotates, and it's pretty easy to play defense at that point. So we'll see what they're able to do here. I mean, it looks like they're just kind of holding outside of mid, which is not, I guess, the best thing that they should be doing here. They need to get a little more aggressive. The Clack is just being allowed to just go off here. Chirpy taking a bit of damage there from that op shot. We'll see if Clack's able to open things up in mid. They do have a double op where here Courtly has picked one up as well. That's something to note.
But definitely being careful, though. Chirpy being very cautious. They now Molly then smoked off the hell out of A site. Actually, even getting a pick off out of A main over on Innovate, and that just leaves her right now. Only one person technically. Not looking the exact right way. Great job to snipe down. Great job by Church to taking 2 out. There still is some support over on Truck as the rest of the players might be looking to come on over. Preventing on the backside. Truxie does go down. Clack though gets one. Looking for another. Not able to connect just yet. Truck will be smoked off. Goes through the smoke. Almost lands it. 2 players remain for Alabama. Some of these shots are so goddamn close. And unfortunately not able to connect with them just yet. And now LSU finally under some pressure after what seems like a bit of a fever storm of 6 rounds. With 2 ops versus 2 AKs, this could be a really tough retake unless they could get them peeking and popping out right now anytime soon. Courtly dropping the op, picking up the AK. Better choice, I think, right now for the time being. Clack does manage to get a nice shot off, and that just leaves Manly on site with 13 HP. Oh, he's not looking the right way, and finally they go down. LSU still holds strong, and a great job by them. Not only can they defuse the bomb, but now they could probably go recover the ops if they really wanted to.
I think they're going to keep the AKs because you look at the money on their team, it's really good. So they can afford to just drop these AKs off to a couple of players on their team. And I mean, that's a bit of a rifle advantage for a CT player to be holding onto an AK. And then they have 2 ops. And I mean, everything's just going the right way right now for LSU. And this is a slaughter, if anything, at this point, because you expect more out of Crimson Tide. Absolutely, I'd say. But yeah, this is LSU's game to lose at this point. They're really impressing me for sure. I didn't expect them to be this coordinated. I mean, there's definitely coordination. You can tell on that retake there, the way that they took quad together and took out that final player after they opened things up with the op. That was an absolute textbook retake from 2 players who were communicating the entire time.
Yeah, I was a little worried that they would have tried to both run over with ops and try to get, close no scopes and just left themselves open to be taken down and have the ops stolen. But yeah, they did a great job of, standing strong, switching up the guns and retaking the side, as you mentioned. Now, a little bit of a spread out default play right now coming out of Alabama. They're taking it a little bit slower as they all have AKs. We'll look to see if they can maybe find some sort of an opening, but every time they try to find something, they usually don't have a lot of luck. D-Truxie and Courtly for now holding off B, not going to find a lot of action over there, as it looks like a lot of the setup is going to be going over to mid, so it's going to be up to Clack to try to hold it down. I'm assuming they're at least thinking about going here, and there we go. We see the first smoke coming up. Second smoke coming up. Man, misses a shot right there through smoke. Will back on up. Smart decision for the time being, so he doesn't have to engage in close range combat. And now it's going to be, though, up to Innovate, and so hold it down for the time being. He falls pretty quick, but he does have some support coming up on the other side, and indeed the rest of LSU falling. Clack all by himself over on Truck. Gotten used to that position. They finally anticipated, take him down as well, and all 5 members of Alabama now sit on A site comfortable. Finally, I think this is the round that they're going to end up getting that they've been searching for a while.
Yeah, LSU's just going to back off and save. And if 5-on-2 with an op like this, you're not going to be able to retake the A site here. So cutting their losses, saving, that's just a good call on their part, and that's disciplined play, even if the score is 9-3. At the end of the day, this is the Crimson Tide just kind of bashing their head into a brick wall enough times to finally figure out what LSU is doing. We saw them do the exact same thing last round, where they first took out Innovate, then they were able to trade out Church on site, but unfortunately they lost the post plant because they didn't have as many players alive. This time they had all their players alive. They coordinated it well, and they finally were able to take a round here just by doing the same thing they did last round, but doing it better.
Indeed they are. Now, matches paused once again. We're taking another attack. Oh, this is a technical timeout, not a tactical. Looks like we might be having some issues. At the start of the match, we did have one of the LSU players apparently have some weird texture issues with his game, so I do understand it if they're going to, quickly take a quick little pause to maybe figure something out. Or, I mean, hey, why not? Just use it as a tactical pause anyways. Never hurts to lock down these final 2 rounds. Getting an
Or
11-4 lead into half is a lot better than maybe getting a 9-6. So don't blame them if they want to try to stall it up either.
or yeah, try to kill the momentum of the Crimson Tide. Wait, what? Did I say that out loud?
The technical momentum killer. That's probably the most underrated strat in the professional scene. We see the technical timeout. What's wrong?
Hey, if you don't,
your
yeah,
mouse doesn't work. Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? Yeah, I don't know. I just keep clicking
yeah.
it. It looks fine to us. I wasn't doing it for me a second ago. Yeah, okay, dude. Just one of those.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like icing the kicker in football. I mean, if you have the timeout to burn, why not just burn
but
it?
see, in that case, so you're entering my field of territory with football. It's like icing the kicker. It doesn't work until it works. It's just one of those things. It's just like it's a theoretical strategy, and it looks silly and stupid like 90% of the time until that like 10% moment where you see it on a nationally televised game where that kicker actually does end up missing, and you're just like, oh my god, can't believe people actually use that strategy. It's funny.
Well, I mean, mentally, you got to think about it. It's got some kind of. I mean, there's some kind of theory behind it that it could work. The way, just like the mental game, the pressure situations, and I mean, like it's like the same kind of idea could work in CS, especially on like a big stage. We've seen teams do it before, and it's more of like a BM kind of timeout than it is like icing the other team. But we were definitely seeing timeouts as like a format. Like a feature of like the format of the game being used in like sort of a competitive sense, and that's kind of cool to see the game even evolve in that sense.
Indeed. Now we look and see on B side. It looks like the Crimson Tide are going to be looking to head over to B side, and once again we get to see the Truxy Courtly defense. See how well they handle it this time. Courtly though is not exactly in position. He's working the vents through mid, and we'll see if anybody comes through checkers. And needs a couple. And one goes down, but not the second. So now it's going to be really on Courtly. He does have support over on him right there. And wow, Clack coming over with the big rotates to help him out to clean up that round. A lot of HP loss, but life is full and well for LSU as they gain their 10th round.
And a couple players here now, the Crimson Tide aren't even going to be able to buy AKs because they're getting reset again. So LSU getting a 10th round here, and another timeout from them.
I mean, obviously LSU. LSU. There's no need to ice this. There's no need to ice this. Technical timeout. I think one of their players, like from the start. Again, this is part of the reason why we had a couple minute delay. Is like they actually have
no big deal. But I mean, you just gotta throw it out there for the banter.
Yeah, it's just funny. Interesting though to talk about. I mean, let's get to again. Obviously, Alabama. They're doing what they can and trying to find their opportunities. But this defense from LSU is incredible. Again, Courtly and Detruxy on B side, and Clack. He has been an enormous big part of this as well, being the anchor and the rotate as we've seen.
Oh, absolutely,
absolutely. B-side. Right there was a prime example of him coming over. I mean, it was gorgeous.
Right. Timings on his rotations have been really, really key, and he's rotating into the A side at the right time, rotating to the B side at the right time. He's doing a really good job at reading the play, and as a mid player and an opera on this map, that's really important. So they've really got an ace in Clack here, and it's showing for sure as he's second there on the scoreboard, and definitely with that op making it work, and he's a big reason why his team is up 10-4 right now.
Funny, I'm looking at chat really quick for like half a second. I see somebody say Louisiana Tech better than LSU. Yeah, I don't think so, but yeah, good try. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's CSGO or esports. Maybe they could take him down, but only thing I've seen LA Tech play in is like League of Legends. I don't think I've really seen them play much on the CSGO side. But here we go. We got a bit of an entry coming in on to A, and one last opportunity for Alabama, but the CZ says no. Tursa, can he get the deagle? Indeed, he does. Pounds away, and only remaining player is Master Twist. Does take down Tursa, but not able to follow that up with a spray over on Detruxy as they fall, and that is 11-4 lead for LSU going on to the T side. Great half by them. That was probably one of the better halves I've seen from a team here in collegiate CSGO that wasn't like a 15-0 or, such an obnoxious scoreline. For the rounds that the Crimson Tide got, man, it could have been maybe even worse with how LSU played.
Oh yeah, no, they definitely shut down CS for sure. They're locking it down. It would be a real shame to see them lose this one at this point. But hey, we've seen everything so far this season already, and we're only at week 3. So I mean, we'll see what the Crimson Tide here. I mean, their motto is Roll Tide, right?
Roll Tide, exactly. They're kind of a little bit rolling in their graves at the moment if they don't get something going here in the next few rounds. But Well, we'll see. We're going into round number 16. LSU leads 11-4. And we're going to see what they can come up with. If they can mimic anything that they could over on their CT side, over on their T side, Alabama could be in a bit of trouble. But, you know, we've seen games turn around as always in the CSL once sides flip. So we'll see if the defense of Alabama can hold it down as well. They'll have their own opportunity now.
Yeah, we see Clack getting out here in the mid, and he's going to take the first fight. Now he's going to get down off of the boosted position, hopefully try to find the fight with his player on white box. But Chursa is going to figure out why that's a bad idea, though Clack going to turn around and take out. Great job. But the Beast Smoke is going to come in the split that you were talking about just before this game started. I think this is what's going to, this is coming in here, and we see the defense of Crimson Tide going to be tested early as Clack making that Glock go clack, 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 and taking him out, as that's going to be a B-site to be had for LSU, and things are not looking good if you're Crimson Tide. You can't be losing pistol if you only got 4 rounds here, and Clack tapping away, taking out another one, going huge in this round.
Yeah, both coming up through the heaven side over here, and managing to get a couple little dinks and dots. But now it's down to Manley. He's got a couple players that are half HP and very low, so he actually can maybe take this on. Only Clack and Courtly remaining. He still has enough HP where he can maybe make something out of this for the time being. But he's got to hit his shots right now. Not able to find it. And now it is the first eco, or I guess the first pistol round going up to LSU, and so. Not good, because I mean this could lead into 13, maybe even to 14-4, setting up a really long road for Alabama to come back this game if they have to deal with this. I mean, what does Alabama have to do to work their way back into this on the CT side already after losing a pistol?
I mean, they got to win this round right here. That would be their best chance, because resetting a team after winning pistol is one of the most devastating resets you can hand a team. And then to crack back into this game with that would be the kind of momentum shift to their what would it be for you? The ESPN turning point.
Mm-hmm. The Patriots Atlanta Falcons the probability filter going from like near 100% win or 99.9 to like flipping the other way.
Yeah,
completely.
absolutely. No, yeah, it's just any kind of momentum shift like that is what Crimson Tides are going to be looking for. Not only do they want to be winning these rounds, but the rounds that they're going to need to win, they really need to stomp out LSU and get some momentum rolling if they want to win this one. Kind of like how at LSU they did that in the last half.
Church eating up a little bit of an HE nade there in mid, shakes his head, shakes it off like a fighter in the UFC after taking a nice little light jab. Says that didn't affect me at all. But they do have a small opening right here, maybe on A. They only have one pistol on A site, and I think they're realizing that they need to try to make a move on it. Need to get help from the door. Clack not coming to help his teammate right here, trying to take this little gunfight. CZ's been doing damage, but meanwhile over on this B stack, it seems like where they're going to try to hit for it. And so far, at least Courtly does get a kill, a little bit of a tough one to find. And now 3 more LSU members are just waiting to bait this over on site. One goes down. The rest of the LSU Tigers start to file on in. Can they find any more kills on Alabama? And it looks like only Massive Castle falling down. Great job all by himself. Can he do this? He can possibly. He's got a 2v1 with a HP advantage, but no. Clacking away and still hitting shots all game long with a 4K. I think that was a 4K, right?
Yeah, I mean, Clack is he's going off absolutely at this point. He's leading the way for his team. This is the kind of performance that you see where he's just kind of taking hold of the game and making everybody. He's making himself everybody's problem on the other team. I mean, if they don't deal with Clack, they're not going to win the round. And we see how he's just becoming a force in every single round. And now the Crimson Tide are going to have to just kind of throw this round away and then go for broke and play at round 14 and just kind of hope not to make any mistakes. I mean, it's rough at this point. The meat grinder going to come in here. Chursa going to find a couple, and a nice nade from Trucks. You're going to find a pair there. That's Steph Curry from the 3-point line there, banking that one in.
Absolutely connecting right there. That's tough. I mean, you could take stacks into B, you could take stacks into A, but when you take a stack into mid like that, when they're actually waiting for you there, that's so hard to get a fight in on, especially right there in that little crowded area. nades, their effectiveness goes up tenfold, and all the chaos in the bullets. It's just hard to get an accurate shot off just with the USPS. So, props to Alabama for having the balls to try to get in there, but LSU's gunpowder and just general nades were a little bit too much right there. So,
Yeah, it almost worked out for them, but they read it properly. Just those kind of plays don't always work out on execution. As Clack is going to execute well into mid, finding a kill, and a great job there. Great job not doing such a great job in this one, notably. He's 11 and 18, but nobody on his team doing too well. So, I mean, that's not really anything to note. So the mollies are going to come into A site, and it looks like
man.
LSU maybe going to get baited in a bit here. Chirpy's going to find Innovate early before Chirsa's going to trade out Chirpy. Orly's going to find one. Mr. Twist here's a player rotating under him in B. This is going to be a nice altercation across the map, but Clack's going to take out he's going to take out Melee there with the USB.
That's that moment where you ask, like, why are you sitting there? Like, why are you there? Like, get out.
Yeah, but the whole site had fallen for what they had it for 30 seconds at that point. He's just sitting there, and then Clack just runs up to his face and goes tap tap with the USP to add insult to injury. That's how he's going to find that kill. I mean. And Crimson Tide really have no choice but to go for it. I mean, what are they going to do? Play for tie at this point? This is an absolute, clinical performance from LSU. I am thoroughly impressed with their play at this point.
I'll be honest, I'm pretty shocked as well. I would have expected these teams to probably be a little bit closer. And honestly, I wasn't expecting, at least on the LSU side, this type of strategy, this type of cohesion and play. This definitely is a little bit of a level above what I expected to see tonight, and I'm really it's surprising, but I'm at the same time really happy to see it, because it allows you to see the level of CS:GO at the collegiate level starting to improve and get better and better, week after week, year after year. And this is LSU is a prime example of what's going on right now in the scene. It's really beautiful to see.
Yeah, it's for sure. And I mean, the unfortunate thing is we know Alabama's good and we know what they're capable of when they have their game rolling. But clearly, this isn't the Alabama that we're used to seeing. And unfortunately, this is an Alabama that we're going to see go 0 in 2 years. LSU is going to be able to probably, absolutely find their first win in this game here. And happy to see a player like Clack. If he keeps making noise at this rate, people are going to be talking about him pretty soon. So, new player to the league, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully, he'll be able to keep this role, keep these performances coming throughout the season.
Indeed. Now, a slow setup right here. Not a lot of gunpowder available, unfortunately, for Alabama. A couple scouts. FAMASas, really not a lot of options for them. They're trying to maybe work the boost here. Actually, an op, I apologize. There's an op. No, that's LSU's op. Oh my god, LSU's boosting right over the top of them almost. They have to be really careful right here. Oh man. One,
That's really close.
Yeah, Alabama's got to be really careful about that. They were really close to them right there in mid, but looks like will work the vents, looking to see if they can find another on B. This will maybe favor Alabama, as a lot of their team is over on the B right now, stacked, and so maybe they could catch them in a little bit of a semi-grinder. Nades coming off, a little bit smoked off. One player comes on down. Manley gets Innovate. He'll drop down a little bit, maybe too soon to commit to that drop right there. I think the high ground would have been great for him, but now the rest of the site is beginning to fall apart. Oh my god, beautiful shots coming out all over from LSU. What is happening right now?
If you had just seen the shot that Chirsa just hit through smoke, that was like oh my god, anybody in Go TV's got to know what I'm talking about. That one was crazy. And LSU gonna take this one in a crazy affair. Absolutely, round of applause going to them for taking out the Crimson Tide in this fashion. And 16-4, definitely much higher score line, or like a bigger score line difference than what we expected, both of us. And I'm happy to see it out of LSU. For the person in Big Jolly 88 who asked in chat, who's been the MVP for LSU? That's got to be Clack for me, for sure.
Yeah, him and DeCourtley. Honestly, I want to give the MVP just in general to the whole entire team. I don't see a reason not to give it to them, because that play, at least on the CT side, was one of the best cohesive defensive CT sides I've seen in quite a while. Obviously, this is not exactly reflective of everybody that they might face in the CSL or even down the line, but for what we saw today, that was very well executed on all sides. I want to give pretty much a team MVP to the whole entire LSU squad, but Clack today was definitely kind of that nice anchor. In regards to wherever the defense went, he was there helping out, ensuring the victory. And then on T side, he kind of took over. And pretty much gave the game to them for the most part. So LSU grabs their first win of the season. Congrats to the Tigers. Crimson Tide moves to 0-2. Will
I'll go back
be
to the drawing board. Absolutely. I mean, that's not what we expected, right? This is a team that I believe in when we talked in the quad, me, you, and Mahone, or we all had them ranked pretty high, and I'm pretty sure Strawberry even talked about them a little bit too. So
mhm.
unfortunate to see them go 0-2 to start the season, but I guess anything can happen here. As yeah, like you said, growing at an exponential rate. You see teams taking it more seriously, and with that is going to come new players getting drawn into the scene that maybe didn't know it existed before, and teams are going to, the hierarchy of teams are going to get shuffled up big time this season.
Well, I mean, look, they're going to have a lot of learning opportunities here through the first half of this season. Again, no, there's no reason to ever get down on yourself in the fall if you don't perform well. There's a lot of time to develop, and they're facing the hard part of their schedule right away. They got Central Florida, they got LSU. Their next game is going to be against Georgia Tech, and that's probably one of the leaders in the group right there as well. And it's not going to be easy. And then eventually they got to find their way over to Georgia as well. So they have a long road ahead of them in terms of who they're going to face. But this is that time where you want to take the time to develop, to practice, to watch your demos, see where you can improve, what kind of openings, begin looking at strats from other teams or from the professionals, see what you can pick up and begin practicing and trying to utilize them. Like again, as critical as we are tonight, do understand that there's a lot of time to develop. The real games, I want to say, to be honest, is really when it begins in the spring. So between now, kind of at the end of October, you got a good couple months to really get all of that, flushed out, down, and clean your play up. Once it comes around January, it's really when the games are going to truly, truly matter. So today we just saw a little bit of a taste of what LSU is capable of and their potential, and as well as seeing where maybe some of the faults and improvements are needed for Alabama. But I had fun. That was a pretty good game.
Yeah,
I
absolutely. I
enjoyed
mean,
it.
both games tonight were really, really good. So I mean, it's always a caster's treat when the games that you're casting aren't, boring. You think that it's fun to watch people get like slaughtered over and over, but this time it was, when it's an upset, it's a lot of fun. So, absolutely, got to give it to LSU and Clack for being a huge, huge MVP.
Well, guys, we have a couple minor plugs for you. One is Twitch. So if you are watching us, you're obviously on Twitch, unless you're watching us on like Panda TV or something. Then shame on you for somehow finding a collegiate restream of this. Want to thank Twitch as always, from PAX East to PAX West, for supporting and growing and building collegiate esports. Just in general, be sure to support them, give them a thank you anytime you guys get a chance for doing so. A lot of what we are capable of doing year in and year out, and the streams that we provide, is because of them. But on top of that, they also have an awesome student initiative called Twitch Student, which you can follow and keep tabs on what they're doing, where they're going, who they're meeting, and what kind of connectivity they're trying to build. Just by going down in our info section, there's a little button over there that takes you to the Twitch Student Twitter. You can follow them and keep tabs, as well as also you can follow the Twitch TV/community streaming, trying to word that correctly. Basically, any collegiate streamer can tag themselves under the collegiate community, and then you can see what other college students are streaming, seeing how they're skipping their homework or maybe their classes or exams, and instead maybe playing Mario Odyssey or something like that. You never know. But
Wouldn't that be fun?
oh man, I mean, hey, if I had a system right now ready to go, if I had the Switch and had Mario Odyssey, I don't know if I would have showed up tonight. So, you you never know
Yeah, I mean,
how.
it looks fun, and I don't have a Switch, but that game, it's the first Mario game in like a long
But
time. I mean,
see,
this is Super Mario we're talking
See, that's
about.
why we have Twitch, right? We can vicariously live through other, people and streamers. We can watch them when we get a chance. So that's always an awesome thing. But if you guys haven't yet as well, be sure to join our Discord. Type in exclamation Discord into chat to be able to see the link to our Discord channel. Join all the other coordinators, players, and as well, it's one of the best access points to all our staff, admins, production, and everybody else. If you have any questions, concerns, if you want to talk shit to Mahone about his power rankings, great place to do it at. Just be sure to type an exclamation Discord in as well if you want to follow all the updates and all the happenings of the Collegiate Star League. Follow us on Twitter at CStarLeague, at Collegiate CSGO, and then on Facebook.com/CStarLeague. And on occasion, feel free to check out the CStarLeague.com website, as all the standings, news, and all of everything else is there. But other than that, I don't know, Zach. I had a fun night. Two, I think, great games that we ended up seeing today, and various definitions of great, but I think we got to see some more teams, a bit more quality out of some compared to others, but overall a fun night of CS:GO, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm just talking with Mahone here in the chat, and he's saying that LSU's been practicing a lot on the ESEA. So I
Hmm.
mean, we saw it pay off tonight. So if anything, that goes to show what a lot of practice can do for your team. So yeah, definitely, as you said before, I'm happy to see teams scrimming. A lot happy to see teams taking it more seriously, and happy to see the league grow, and happy as once more to see everybody show up and watch each Monday and Wednesday night at 4 and 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good and safe Halloween tomorrow, and we will catch you guys back on the flip side on Wednesday for some more CSGO. Montreal versus Toronto at 4 p.m. Pacific,
Ooh,
and
rivalry.
UC Irvine versus UC Santa Cruz at 7 p.m. Pacific. So, two great Wednesday matches again for you to watch. Be sure to tune in, follow the channel, and we will catch you guys then. Have a good night.
Later, everyone.